Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh. Double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Peace, safety, much love, and blessing to the Akim across the four corners of the earth that are pushing out this truth and sincerity and putting their lives on the line. To do so, I want to say shalom to you, brothers. I'm the brother Arak out of GMS Atlanta. Back in the spirit with another lesson, and Lord willing, the lesson be edifying to an elect member too. The name of this lesson is going to be entitled, Being Called a Babe is Not an Insult. Okay? Being called a babe is not an insult because, as in anything that's developing and is growing, it has to start somewhere. Okay? A tree, an oak tree that's out in the yard, it started from a seed. Okay? Anything that grows and develops and have life, start out somewhere. And in the sense of humans, we start out as newborn babies, okay, where we have to learn different cognitive skills. We have to learn how to crawl before we can walk. We have to learn to we have to develop until the point to where we begin to eat solid foods. Okay. And just comparing it to the scriptures, we have to also come in this thing, no matter the age that we are physically, as newborn babes. Okay. Because we're relearning. All right. This truth is new to us. We wasn't born knowing that we were Israelites. We wasn't raised in the Israelite culture. Okay. We were raised as Americans. So when we learn that we are an Israelite and we start learning these scriptures, we have to start out as if we don't know anything. All right. Such as a newborn babe that hasn't completely and fully developed. So being called a newborn babe is not insulting. Okay. And it's best to realize that you're a newborn babe. That way you don't skip steps in the process. And then when you become of age, so to speak, or 6, 7, 8, 9 years in the truth, you still don't know, things that you should have learned as a babe because you skip steps. Okay. So let's get this real quick. First precept I'm going to start out with. Let's go Hebrews 5. Hebrews 5:12. It says, For for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Okay, so that's basically the point that I was getting at, in the opening of the lesson. Whether you've been teaching on your own or whether you've known the truth for X, Y, certain amount of years, but now you want to go out and teach, you have to make sure that you have the proper foundation, the proper nutrition, if you will, as a newborn babe, all right, to begin to actually teach others. Okay, because knowing that you're an Israelite is one thing, but when you cross over and start to become a teacher, all right, you have to go to those that are older than you in the spirit, all right, not in age, but in the spirit, and be taught again. Okay, you have to be developed, so to speak. It's like, just to give an example, when a person is in a, let's say, in a sport, and they start out, on the amateur level, and then eventually they develop their skills or their talents and become a professional. Now, while they may have been in the sport, for X amount of years, as an amateur, when they come up under professional tutelage, they start all the way at the bottom as being a rookie. All right. They have to learn, when they become professionals from those that were already professionals before them. So it's not an insult to tell you, let's say if you're 40, 50 years old, just throwing a number out there. It's not an insult to be called a babe, all right? And you just learned the truth for a year or two. That's not an insult, all right? We all have to start somewhere, especially when you begin to start teaching this word, okay? So from there, let's go. First Peter 2:2. First Peter 2:2 reads, "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." Okay, and I'm gonna read it in the BBE. It says, this is First Peter 2:2 in the BBE. "Be full of desire for the true milk of the word, as babies at their mother's breast, so that ye may go on to salvation." All right, so we have to have a desire for the basics. All right, we have to have a desire for the sincere milk of the word in order to grow thereby. All right, and this is just plain and simple. Babies don't come out hitting backflips, all right, and being able to run. All right, they're infants. When they come out, they have to be held. They have to be weaned. All right, then they go on to the toddler stage, to where they're starting to crawl around now. All right, starting to grab on to things and start to develop the skill of walking, until eventually walking, then eventually running, and then eventually become an adolescence or teenager into an adulthood. So there's steps, and it's the same way in this truth. There's steps to it, okay? And skipping steps will ensure that you won't have a solid foundation. So you have to start as a newborn babe, and it's not an insult, okay? So from there, let's go to Matthew the 18th chapter. Matthew 18:3. It says, "And said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." Okay, so we have to. It says, "Verily I say unto you, except ye become converted and become as little children." Okay, so little children are like sponges, especially in the first couple of stages of development. Everything that's being thrown out there, they're absorbing, and taking it in. Okay, and we should be the same way when we learn this truth. We come back as children, and that's parabolically speaking. We all know that we're adults in age, but when it comes to the truth and learning the ways of Yahweh Shemi Shai, we have to come as little children, all right, in order to get the development that we need in the spirit, all right, in this truth. Last precept, I'm gonna go to 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. In verse 2, it says, "I have fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able." Okay, 1 Corinthians 3:2 in the BBE. "I gave you milk and not meat, because you were then unable to take it." All right, and that's another thing, trying to get into the dark sayings of the scriptures and the deep breakdowns, and you 6 months into the truth, you skipping steps. you chewing on meat when you ain't ready for it, and you could be choked out. All right, start and desire the sincere milk. And you see that with some guys that want to do this thing or be in the truth for, with ulterior motives. They want to look like the big dog right out the gate, or like they just some prestigious staple in the nation of Israel. You know, they want to know all the precepts or seem to know all the precepts. They want to give themselves a title. 6 months in, they high priest, elder, this and that, you know. But then skip the whole weaning process, all right, and the nutritional process of being a babe, and skip straight to being an elder. Okay, that don't make sense. Okay, and this is what Paul was saying here. This 1 Corinthians 3:2 in the BBE, I gave you milk and not meat because you were unable to take it. All right, try to give a damn 2-month-old baby a damn steak dinner. Okay, chop it up fine and nice, as fine as you can get it, and try to get it to them. Shit, hell, you can even grind it up or blend it up and try to give it to the baby. It still will not be able to consume it, because as a babe, you have to be weaned and you have to desire the sincere milk. And no form of solid foods will go down or be able to. All right, and it's the same thing in the truth. It says, I gave you milk and not meat because you were unable. Oh, you were then unable to take it, and even now you are not able. Okay, so you have to continue to learn, and don't take it as an insult that you're a babe. All right, so Lord willing, this was an edifying, also exhorting lesson. I'm gonna end it giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakudash Shalom.